also are partnering with the UNAB.
Let's put our hands together for him, Dr. Francesca.
Africa is naturally the closest area to the Mediterranean and to our interests. And we have started to work on building bilateral agreements with many countries as possible in Africa. We now cover all the North Africa. And we're going out now, we have Djibouti, we have Sudan, we have Ethiopia, we have the Democratic Republic of Congo. Hopefully we may have today Kenya. Between our countries we have bilateral agreements, and going down we have Rwanda. We are signing with in 2 weeks with Seychelles and Mauritius. We are close to signing with Mozambique and Zambia and Tanzania. We have all the south, including Botswana, Swaziland, Lesotho, and South Africa. So these are the countries we are building work together. And I think our philosophy is very simple, if I can say, is ownership, is make the multilateral system work for the bilateral.
Electrification needs to keep up with the huge population growth. And this is probably the challenge of challenges given the rates of growth in this part of the world. Lack of access to sustainable energy or access to unreliable electricity networks hampers significantly Africa's productivity. It is estimated that power shortages affect Africa's annual economic growth by at least 2%. The investment needed to achieve the universal access to modern energy services in the world by 2030 is huge. There are estimates that this will be about $50 billion per year. Official development assistance and public finance alone will never meet these needs.
In this world, pollution has become the number one killer. Every year, 12.6 people are dying prematurely from pollution. Out of that, about half are dying from air pollution. So having this renewable energy is both life and death.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jean-Loup. He is the Chief Scientist and Acting Director of Science Division at UN Environment. And, well, quite some insights. Our current GDP across the African continent, according to what Dr. Liu says, is at $2 trillion. And by the year 2050, we will be at $20 trillion. But what should actually be puzzling is the fact that our population will have doubled. At the moment, we have about 1.2 billion people living on the African continent. And that means that the demand for electrification is going to possibly have gone 10 times what it is now. But what kind of electrification are we going to be offering to these billions of people we're going to have by the year 2050?
With all these population growth, it is important that governments ought to ensure that effective, efficient, well-informed and evidence-based policies are in place to attract investments and to ensure that the quest for sustainable energy solution is quenched. Sustainable energy policies is contributed towards other social, societal and economic development objectives. The most immediate energy priority for many developing countries is to expand access to energy. They develop policies that aim at providing safe, clean, reliable and affordable energy to those who currently have no access. Governments, ladies and gentlemen, should look at energy policies to maximize positive synergies where they exist. Further, the renewable energy sector gives the East African community an opportunity to create and develop policies and programs to widen and deepen cooperation, not only in policies but research.
The cost of power in Kenya is still relatively high, and this is impacting negatively on the cost of production. Kenyan manufacturers are paying an electricity tariff of about 15 US cents per kilowatt hour compared to our neighbor Ethiopia, which is at about 4 cents per kilowatt hour. That's US cents. Egypt, which is at 6, and so forth. So we have a challenge because we need to attract manufacturers in this economy. And for the time being, we're having them argue and push back that our cost of power is indeed not competitive compared to our neighbors.
Building a sustainable shared future cannot be an afterthought, and we as a people have to be ready and willing to make selfless sacrifices starting today. If we want to leave our children and grandchildren a viable and better world tomorrow, we must start investing in renewable energy today. This meeting contributes to this momentum and amplifies the urgency for us to fast-track our resolve to remove all activities that affect our environment negatively.
Access to reliable, cost-effective forms of energy is a strategic priority, not just for Kenya and Africa, but also for the global mining community or mining sector. We need more hybrid solar power plants and other innovative forms of renewable energy to reduce the fuel cost of mines and industry and provide reliable power at a predictable rate.
The day we will agree to put off our selfish interests aside, shut off the diesel generators, and explore clean energy solution is when we will fully appreciate the benefits of renewable energy in Africa. And I'm quite particularly happy that the EU is now funding renewable energy and not fossil fuels.
So I think that there is we have really an opportunity. The Italian Development Cooperation is a new player in the development community. We wish to partner with all our partner countries, with the international academia, with the private sector, with the civil society organization, and of course we wish to that in the context of the European Union. We are a member of the European Union. We are going to develop with our with the other member state and European delegation the new joint programming for cooperation. Energy has been one of our main 4 priorities, and we wish we commit to work with all our partners to support this SDG 7 that for us is very, very instrumental to implement all the SDGs agenda.
Renewable can lower the cost of energy in Kenya. I don't think coal and nuclear can do the same. Still, observe and decide. And the next time, a year from now, I want Valentino to call Kenya a fantastic country.
We really believe that by 2030, 80% renewable energy in this country is achievable. But of course what we would like, really from a resource use effectiveness and also from a national security point of view, we actually want the 100% renewable, because that is our biggest asset.
We see an affinity with the financial sector, but we have to work closely to look for credit availability for such, I'd say, projects that would then steer us directly once again to work with the Big Four, which is promoting agro-processing to support food security.
There must be mechanisms by which these projects get actually executed, get, first of all, selected, screened, awarded, if there is a competitive mechanism, to the most serious players. So what we see today in Kenya is that there is plenty of projects. I'm aware, we are aware that there are about 3 gigawatts of such projects being proposed by different sponsors. There is a mechanism of bilateral negotiations between the government and such sponsors. However, there is very little, in our judgment, there is very low speed of growth of renewables. We believe, and this is of course our point as an Green Power, that there is a variety of projects which are being proposed by non-credible or speculative players.